My name is Sam Trumbore, and I am minister of the First Unitarian Universalist Society of Albany and president of Arise, a regional initiative supporting empowerment in the Capital Region as defined by Albany, Schenectady, Rensselaer, and Saratoga counties.
My name is Deb Bomis. I'm a member of State Street Presbyterian Church in Schenectady, and I'm executive vice president of Arise. Arise is a grassroots public advocacy group consisting of 36 religious, interfaith, and neighborhood organizations with a total membership of over 12,000 people. You are about to see a video presentation of our first public meeting ever on November 13th, 2001. This year's meeting focused on the work of our 3 task forces in the area of youth, education, and employment.
We presented specific proposals to advance these issues and asked for our elected and appointed representatives to respond to them.
The video will give you segments of the meeting from start to finish and a good overview of who we are and what we're trying to accomplish. So sit back, relax, and enjoy our presentation.
The twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watch were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets' bright rifles blasted, the bombs bursting came through the night, and our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave? For the Lord of light is our love, and turn the night into day. Bright is our way. Our light for His people, set their hearts free.
My name is Sam Trumbore, and I am the minister of the First Unitarian Universalist Society of Albany and the president of Arise. It is my honor, my duty, and my pleasure to call this first public meeting of Arise to order. I invite Deb Bomis, Executive Vice President of Arise, to call the roll.
We want to thank God for every single voice present here tonight. Each person or each voice is important to Arise. We will now start with our roll call.
St. Joseph's Catholic Church in Greenfield Center, the only Arise membership in Saratoga County. We're proud to have 20 members here tonight.
Cristian Gutierrez from Sacred Hearts in Columbus, Schenectady, and we have 25 members to here tonight.
Good evening, I'm Father Gary Mercure, pastor of Sacred Heart in St. Williams in Troy, and we have 52 members here this evening.
I'm Pastor Holman, Mount Olivet Missionary Baptist Church in Schenectady. We have 45 members.
I'm Andrea Ricard with the First Unitarian Universalist Society of Albany. I'm very proud to say that we have 115 members here.
I'm excited to announce that we have over 900 members present and ready to do business.
Lily Gant, the Secretary of Arise, will now review the rules of the meeting.
This is a membership meeting of Arise. We have listened to our people. We have surfaced areas of concern. We have researched potential solutions. There will be no comments from the floor tonight. If you're interested in doing our work, we encourage you to join our organization and become a member of a task force.
Reverend Stan Skinner will present a brief history of Arise, followed by Harry Howard, our Schenectady Vice President and leader of one of our founding member congregations, Refreshing Spring, who will present the purpose of the meeting tonight.
Arise was begun approximately 4 years ago when a group of Schenectady religious and neighborhood leaders decided that we needed to coalesce various membership organizations in Schenectady County to address important issues affecting our common life. This organization was originally called SCOPE, Schenectady Community Organizing Project. It was founded by people that are still with us, people like Catherine Green, Reverend Bob Smith, Reverend Georgietta Dix, Reverend Al Holman at Mount Olivet. We learned that it was wise to, if at all possible, go regional. And thanks to Greg's advice and the profound interest in this movement by Bishop Howard Hubbard, we did just that. We started as a Schenectady organization, and we are now a Capital District organization, including the counties of Schenectady, Albany, Troy, and Saratoga. We're also convinced that the strength of our coalition lies in building relationships and asking our own constituents what they think about the public issues of this area. And we've held more than 1,500 such one-on-one conversations with our own members, our own constituents. Many said, you know, you're the first group that has asked us what we thought were important public issues in years. We've learned a lot. We've learned that organizing is about involving many different churches, synagogues, mosques, and neighborhood development groups. We've learned that organizing is about building relationships. We've learned that organizing is about asking people what they think is important. We've learned that organizing is about training and retraining our own leadership. We've learned that organizing is relating to public leaders as potential allies in the fight for better communities. This is the biggest, most relevant, highest-powered citizen action event ever sponsored by the religious and community development organizations of the Capital District. We feel tonight can make a big difference in how things go down in the Capital District from now on. And it's just the beginning. Tonight's issues are the first of many that will be brought before assemblages like this, sponsored by this organization in the months and years to come. Let's get on with it.
My name is Harry Howard. I am a leader from the Refreshing Spring Church of God in Christ under the leadership of Pastor Dr. Georgietta Dix. We're the little church in the heart of the city with the people of the city in its heart. I'm also the regional vice president for Schenectady County. I'm here tonight to give you the purpose of this meeting. Suburbs are mostly white, inner cities are heavily black. We have neighborhoods with $300,000 homes. We have neighborhoods with $9,000 homes. We have some of the highest scoring schools located right next to some of the lowest. White blame black for their poverty. Black mistrust white's privilege and power. On I-90 east into Albany, if you look at the sign for exit 6, it says Lownville on the left, Arbor Hill on the right. These neighborhoods are barely a mile apart, but looking at them, you will swear they was in different worlds. Counties against counties, suburbs against cities, whites against black, citizen against politician, no coherent vision, no shared purpose, no sense of justice. Is this the way to bring our region together? Arise New Vision is a focus on our hardest problem and our most troubled neighborhood. Not to bring them service or give them a handout, but to give them a voice to sit beside them at the tables of power. Peoples of faith, poor peoples and concerned citizens need to talk directly to the senators, the mayors, corporate executives, the bankers, scholars and experts. experts, Peoples of faith, poor peoples, and concerned citizens need to be at the table where job creations, new business, tax plan, road buildings are decided. These matters are too far important to be left to the expert, the politician, and the campaign contributors. Democracy is based on the belief that ordinary peoples, if they are educated and informed, have the ultimate power. Faith communities should lead the way in reviving the democratic faith. We have the numbers, we have the call and the responsibility. We need to claim the power and fight for justice. Arise is making some specific proposals tonight, but they are all only baby steps. In this greater journey to the Regency community, small victories here tonight for our youth, for our students, for the poor citizens seeking work, are meant to encourage us to build for the future.
We are now ready to do the people's business. The first presentation we have for you this evening comes from our Employment Task Force. The task force chairs, Ed Dilgen and Dennis Carius, will share the presentation of this issue. We invite them forward to do that presentation.
When the Employment Task Force began its work last July, our goal was to reduce unemployment and underemployment in the capital region. We learned that while welfare reform has been successful in reducing welfare rolls, many people who have gone off welfare and many others who remain on are still struggling to support themselves and their families with low-paying jobs.
On the journey from welfare to work, social service departments are called the bridge over troubled waters.
And we ask you to join your voices with ours in support of our petition for citizen participation in the search and selection process for the next DSS commissioner in Schenectady County.
Our Youth Task Force chairs, Chris Hamlick and Malik Huggins, and the Education Task Force Chair, Joseph Markowski, will jointly present the next set of issues.
Tonight, I have the privilege to talk about the most precious and the most vulnerable part of our community, our children and our youth. As faith communities and concerned citizens, it is our sacred and our civic responsibility to make sure that our children have safe streets and places to flourish. However, for many of our region's kids, we have not met our obligation. Youth are in crisis in our inner city. They struggle with drugs, gangs, teen pregnancy, academic failure, crime, and a loss of hope. Because Arise aims to listen first to those who are in the most oppressed areas, our most important interviews were with the kids themselves in the inner city areas of our region. We talked to 11 youth from the Albany Boys and Girls Club, 25 from the Carver Community Center in Schenectady, 8 from Girls Inc., and several more kids from a walkabout that we did in the south end of Albany. We probably have a summary of 200 statements from kids in our inner cities. I want to share just a few with you tonight. My street is not as violent as other streets. We can play outside on my street. No shootings like on the streets where some of my friends live. I have a good friend who can't play outside because there are shootings on her street. The location around us is bad. Too many crack houses. Two of the three surrounding houses are crack houses, and they then proceeded to show us exactly which 2 of the 3 houses were the crack houses. Get rid of the drugs. People are openly selling drugs with lots of kids around. I wish the police would talk to us. I try to say hello to the police because I'm glad they're there. But they don't say hi back to the black kids. I wish they would. I think this was the most desperate comment of all. Move all the kids away from the hill. It's not fair that kids need to grow up here. It has an influence on the rest of your life. Kids get pregnant too fast, or do drugs, or get shot. If you're lucky, you just grow up scared.
Hey, okay, come over here and chill. Want a cigarette?
No, thanks. You guys are cool and all, but no.
Everybody smokes.
I don't. I have asthma. It should be a problem.
Come on, just try.
No.
Why didn't you want to smoke with me? It's not like he had anything better to do.
Who was that guy? No, I sure liked his attitude.
My name is Jason Stewart. I just want to start off by talking about my stay at the Albany Boys and Girls Club. The club has affected me just like it has affected the many other children and young adults that have found a safe haven in the middle of this urban community. A safe haven in the mayhem that is occurring outside of the building, and the staff that also works their hardest to keep the club out of the negativity that occurs.
My name is Ivy Bell. I'm a member of the Boys and Girls Club. I would just like to say a couple of things about the Boys and Girls Club. The Boys and Girls Club is a benefit to me and all the children who go. Many things are offered to me and other growing teens to help keep us from engaging in the more negative activities outside the doors of the club. The club changed me and my attitude towards my schoolwork, home, and towards the role I play in my outside environment. I've been attending the Boys and Girls Club for more than 2.5 years. I must say, I learned more than what I knew in this experience. The Boys and Girls Club can change more people like me if we will only give it a chance. In our neighborhood, we have so many negative actions that we see, and by the Boys and Girls Club being here, we can always come and participate, knowing we're safe in the hands of staff and members.
Tonight, we would like to commend the volunteer board of directors of the Boys and Girls Club, who are taking some bold steps on behalf of the youth in our community. I'd like to call now on their board president, Dan Thompson, to describe their commitment to work with Arise and with city officials for a new and larger Albany Boys and Girls Club.
So very pleased to be here tonight representing the Boys and Girls Clubs of Albany. And I want to thank Arise for not only inviting us to participate in this meeting tonight, but for taking the time to look at us over the past couple of months and evaluate our organization. While we've all agreed on the board that we have sufficiently outgrown our facility and that the building is seriously antiquated, the timing never seemed to be right. But I'm here tonight to let you know that the board of directors has recognized the opportunity that has been presented to us by Arise, and that we've already begun taking the many steps that will be necessary for us to properly evaluate this opportunity.
We've also asked Mayor Jennings to partner with Arise and the Albany Boys and Girls Club Board to seek a suitable location for the new club, and also to donate any city property that may be available and appropriate for this purpose. Tonight, representing the mayor, we have the Albany Public Safety Commissioner, John Nielsen. And Commissioner Nielsen, would you like to make any remarks about this issue tonight?
The Boys and Girls Club, and I live a stone's throw. I live a block and a half away from the Boys and Girls Club. And I know exactly what it does. I see the kids in there every day, every night. The Boys Club is a wonderful thing. And Mayor Jennings and the administration of Albany is committed to the Boys and Girls Club. And this, we hope, and there is, and I'm anxious to see what your committee comes up with in the way of an idea as to what, the demographics. There will be a footprint available. Mayor Jennings, as he said to you today, Dan, is committed to making sure that available space is there when the Boys and Girls Club is ready to build.
2 months ago, the Education Task Force began dozens of interviews to find out what was important to the educational well-being of the youth in the region. The answer that came back was after-school programming. Yes, regular school programming is, of course, the key to a child's education. But when the last bell of the day rings, where do they go to get a positive role model? Where do they go to get help with their schoolwork? Where do they go to have an environment supporting their needs? For some it is family, and for others it is friends or mentors. But for many youth in our region, they have no place to go, and no one to help them. That is where after-school programming comes in, to fill in the void. Tonight, Arise will begin the crucial task of building the political support necessary to provide enough so that eventually every child of every age who needs an after-school program will get it. We have a plan to make this happen. We will take our message to the governor as he composes his executive budget this month. We will take our message to Senator Bruno and Senator Farley so we can have a strong voice in the state Senate in December. And we have taken our message to the Assembly. And I'm happy to say tonight that they have heard our message there, and they will represent our region there. And I ask you, Assembly members, will you pledge your commitment to be a partner with Arise to seek out new levels of support for after-school programs in the capital region? If so, please answer by saying together. Together. We will.
We will. What we have here is grassroots democracy in action, and tonight is a very exciting night, and when people come together and stand united, you can make your voice heard, and I pledge to you tonight my support and commitment to the mission of Arise.
This is certainly impressive to see a group as large and as enthusiastic, as faith-based and as committed as the group that's here tonight. Now, this is exactly what we need. I know for Ron Cannisperi, who hopes to be here later on tonight, and for all of us, we will do everything in our power to make sure the message gets there, and we reach out to these young people, particularly between the hours of 3 and 6, to make sure that they have positive role models and positive support to lead the kinds of lives that they need to lead now, because they are the foundation of our future.
That would be terrible not to invest in our programs and our young people. We heard it. We heard it this evening from people like Jason and Ivory, from the Youth Expressions Theater members. They told us how important it is that it does work.
We have one more thing for our youth. Until our kids are safe, it's hard for them to focus on educational achievement and on a brighter future. To bring you our final youth initiative tonight, I'd like to call on the co-chair of the Youth Task Force, Malik Huggins.
This book here, the Youth Resource Pack, contains over 50 pages of state and federal programs that the Youth Council can take advantage of. Arise is most interested in a federal grant available for regional gang prevention. And if the Youth Council partners with Arise and other groups and puts together a strong application involving both government and community organizations, we could draw down $2 million for youth programming and innovative gang prevention efforts.
I have had, on 2 occasions, had an opportunity to meet with representatives from Arise concerning youth, concerning issues surrounding youth. My new department was created about 10 months ago, focused on children, youth, and families. And we, without any question, will be more than supportive of the effort of Arise to get a grant on gang prevention, which is one of the most prevailing issues, I think, for young people today. Any support that's needed, I believe Albany County Exec, as well as myself, are more than willing to support Arise effort, as well as the Youth Council.
Take a look around you. Don't look in your immediate group, but look around the room. I'm sure you're going to find people who you've done one-on-ones with, that you've worked with. Give them a wave. That's who we are. We did our work first. We built relationships inside of our organization across geographic and party and class and racial lines. Then we went out and did our work in the community. We started to end that fragmentation we see all around us.
Justice happens when people invest institutions they trust with power. The gang members walking our streets are emblematic of a profound distrust in our public institutions. The kids on the street in the south end of Albany, in Hamilton Hill, Schenectady, and the ones you've heard tonight. Some of them talk about what it's like not having a vision of the future and feeling powerless to do anything about it. Their despair and hopelessness is real and painful to encounter. It will take more than a Band-Aid on a gang-colored shirt to protect them. We want these youth and their parents to seize the power that they do have, little as it may be, and join us in partnership. RISE is here to organize the power and embody the vision of justice and revitalization for all the residents of the Capital Region. As an organized, powerful people together, we can sit at the table, not for crumbs, but for real change.
This is the first meeting of we the people of the Capital District. And I hope 4 years from now you can say, you know, I went to a meeting 4 years ago and there were a few people there, a lot of people, but I hope 4 years from now you can say, I was a part of the first meeting of the we the people of the Arise of the Capital District.
You were the blessing tonight. And actually, there was a word that was said earlier that actually sums up everything that took place, because it does not end here. Early on, there was the word shalom. And so our final blessing is indeed that God lets His face shine upon us, and that we indeed may be shalom, carry our faith and action to one another. Amen.